When you look up after a storm and see a rainbow stretching quietly across the sky, what do you think of? For many, it's a simple, natural wonder, a moment of beauty after chaos. But for some, a rainbow is much more than that. It's a sign, it's a promise. And behind that promise is a story nearly as old as time, a story about faith, about patience, and above all, about God's unwavering faithfulness. Centuries ago, life on earth had changed. It was a world weighed down by darkness and violence, a creation that had almost forgotten what it meant to be good. In the heart of that world lived Noah, a man set apart, not for his power or prestige, but for something far rarer, a quiet trust in God. The story goes that one day, God looked at the state of the world and decided it needed cleansing, a fresh start. But amidst the brokenness, God found favor in Noah. So, God spoke to him, giving instructions that must have sounded impossible at the time. Build an ark, enormous and sturdy, and gather inside it your family, along with animals of every kind, 2 by 2, male and female. The world was about to change, and yet within that change was a thread of mercy. Noah listened. He hammered, he built, and he believed. While neighbors scoffed and clouds began to gather, he continued, trusting that the voice guiding him knew more than any human wisdom could tell. And then, just as promised, the rain began. Not a gentle drizzle, but torrents. 40 days and nights of water pouring from the sky and bursting up from the earth. Rivers overflowed. Hills vanished. The world Noah had known was swallowed by the floodwaters. But within the wooden walls of the ark, protected, Noah, his family, and the animals endured. Finally, as the rain ceased and the waves grew still, silence fell. The ark floated gently atop the new waters. Noah waited. Days turned into weeks. The longing for land, for hope, for an end to wandering. It must have weighed heavily on their hearts. Noah initially sent out a raven, and then the doves. Noah, seeking signs that the world was healing, chose a dove as his messenger. He released it into the sunlit sky, watching as it vanished over the endless water. The first time, it returned, finding no place to land. The second time, it came back holding an olive leaf, small but filled with meaning. Signs of new life, signs of hope. The third time, the dove didn't return at all. Land had emerged once more. Stepping out of the ark for the first time in months, Noah and his family felt the solid ground beneath their feet, breathed fresh air, and witnessed the earth made new. But that moment wasn't just about survival, it was about promise. Because over them, stretching from horizon to horizon, appeared the first rainbow, colors shimmering in the sunlight, painting hope across the sky. And it was here that God spoke words that would echo through the generations. Never again, God said, Will a flood destroy all living things? I set my bow in the clouds as a sign, a covenant between me and the earth. It was more than a declaration. It was a commitment. The rainbow became an enduring symbol of God's faithfulness, not just to Noah, but to every living being that would ever see storm clouds break and sunlight spill through. For those who read the story today, the meaning remains just as powerful. Life can feel like a flood, uncertain, overwhelming, with waves threatening to sweep us away. We endure storms, literal and figurative, losses, failures, moments when hope feels as distant as dry ground did to Noah. But the rainbow's promise is that storms don't last forever. There's an end to every flood, and even more, they serve a purpose. They draw us back to trust, to perseverance, to the assurance that we're not forgotten, even when we can't see what's ahead. The dove with its olive branch reminds us to keep looking for signs of new beginnings, even when we're tempted to believe we're still lost at sea. The rainbow reminds us that each storm can end in peace, in beauty, in a confirmation that God remains with us, never breaking the promises made. So next time the sky darkens and thunder rolls, remember, it's not the end of the story. When the sun returns and colors arc across the sky, let them whisper to you the same truth given to Noah, that you are not alone, that hope survives, and that God's faithfulness is as sure as the rainbow after rain. It reminds us that pain isn't the end, and that grace can meet us in unexpected places.